Welcome back to the FMV Archive. Today we are talking about the October 1994 released game, Burn Cycle. This was just for the CDI when it came out. It was so popular they actually did Mac and CD-ROM editions of this as well in 1995. This is probably the best-selling FMV game of all time for the CDI. Not that that's saying a lot. Voyeurs probably second on there. Never really got hard numbers on it, but this was a very popular game when it came out. Electronic Gaming Monthly said in October of '94, this is the CDI game of the year. A couple different play styles in this, mostly point and click, a little bit of shooter, a little bit of puzzle solving. In 1995, when they did this on PC, guess what they used to promote the game? The internet! One of the first games to be promoted on the internet had its own website. Holy cow, kids. But let's see if this is a story that is worth diving into in our 10-point system. You are Soul Cutter. Is there a cooler name for a protagonist in the story? Maybe not. And you are in this cyberpunk dystopian future. Your brain has been infected with a virus, but not like a bacterial virus. An actual virus from a computer has been downloaded into your brain. Does this sound familiar? Johnny Mnemonic, maybe? Kind of something like that. This actually came out a year prior to the movie with Keanu Reeves, but this is like a decade later than the actual book, and I think they stole some things from that. Anyway, this virus has been implanted to you, giving you 2 hours to live, so you've got to fight to get this virus out of your system, and you think a way to do that is maybe putting your consciousness into the cyberverse and, keeping it there so it doesn't kill off your whole brain and turn you into a vegetable. Of course, when you do that, what do? They get it and they put it in someone else. And of course, it's a really hot chick. That's who they put it into. There's a lot of bad dudes in this. There's a lot of betrayal, backstabbing. It's a really cool story about you being infected with this virus and trying to get it out in a weird future where computers are kind of taking over. I like the story. Story's a lot of fun. It's fast-paced. 10 overall for the story. Number 2, the gameplay. Mostly point and click. There's a couple little puzzles in here, and there is a lot of first-person shooter where you go around and people jump out and you click on them and shoot them. There's also a couple times where you're like in a ship and you need to shoot projectiles that are going towards you. A lot easier with a controller. I hooked up a controller to this in my PC, and it ended up being a lot easier than just using the keyboard. Fun, fast-paced. You're never sitting around waiting to do something for 10 minutes. Moves very quickly. I think gameplay's pretty darn good. 7 overall. Number 3, the look and the graphics. This blows 1994 games out of the water. Let's see some games that were released in '94. Donkey Kong Country, Super NES, Sonic 3 on the Sega, Mortal Kombat 2 was in the arcades, Doom 2, that was one of the big ones, and Tekken also came out in 1995. This game is superior to all that, I think. I think the graphics are great. I think the FMV is great. It is really interesting to play this game. It has a great vibe to it the whole way through. Art design is fun, colors are fun, super vibrant. I love everything about this. Even the costumes look great in this one. I would give it 10 overall for the look and the graphics. Number 4, the dialogue. I think it's pretty good. Again, this game is pretty fast-paced. It's never kind of sitting around. You're always kind of learning something, moving on to the next stage of the game. I like that, is never just sitting there giving you exposition just to have it. It's played straight. It's really never campy, I don't think. It's kind of, as is presented, and I think it tells a very compelling story. And again, if you think Johnny Mnemonic was cool, you'll love Soul Cutter in this game, Burn Cycle. I think the dialogue is pretty good. It fits. It's not the best you've ever heard, but 8 overall for the dialogue. This game is pretty linear, so for number 5, instead of consequences, we're going to go over game logic and controls. Controls on the keyboard, they're okay. They're definitely playable. Some of the shooting things are a little bit tough, but if you're playing it with a controller, 100% easier to do it that way. You never need a tutorial for the things that kind of pop up in front of you. There's no, this is how you did. Everything is pretty inherent, which I like. You get into the flow of the game very quickly. There's an inventory you have. That's super easy to pull up, self-explanatory. I was never confused. I was never, looking at a guide saying, what the heck do I do next? It was all really laid out very well. For 1994, I think this is way ahead of its time, especially in adventure FMV gaming. 10 overall for game logic and controls. Number 6, the acting. There are not big names in this one. And CDI was trying to get bigger names with their games. Thunder in Paradise. Terry fricking Hulk Hogan was in that one. Voyeur, tons of pros in that one. Richard Culp was in that one. Bigger names, older names, but still big names. This one doesn't have those big names. I think they were putting their budget into the actual gameplay, which it definitely shows. So the acting isn't top notch, but that doesn't mean it's bad. It's actually pretty darn good in this. 8 overall for the acting. It is good. 7, direction cinematography. This is all in front of a blue screen. That is it. So there's a lot of putting marks on the floor and saying, hit that mark there, turn 40 degrees, and then deliver your line. So it's very hard to direct that type of thing. It's more of a stage play in terms of directing the people on it than an actual movie. I think the direction of cinematography is really good. It plays out like a movie, even though it is absolutely not a movie. It is a video game. Everything feels natural, kind of has a Blade Runner vibe to it. I think the direction of cinematography is great. It is a 10 overall. Music and sound design, number 8. This is definitely the most ambitious soundtrack I think I've ever seen in an FMV game, especially in the 90s. There are, I think, 11 tracks on this, all original music. That is crazy. A lot of synth type stuff. This is a reference to probably nobody's. Blank and Jones kind of has that type of feel to it if you know who they are. For the CDi version, they actually gave you a soundtrack CD that you could play in your Philips CDi player to listen to it. It's that good. Lovely sound effects in this, definitely futuristic stuff. I don't know how you can do a sound design any better, including original music for a game. This is absolutely spectacular. 10 overall, if I could give it more, I would, is really, really good. Number 9, inventiveness. What is new in this game? What is groundbreaking? Well, you know, an FMV point-and-click adventure, not entirely new, but to make it more of a film feel to it, I would say, yeah, that's a little bit new. This definitely has different gameplay elements to it. We're at the time of like Night Trap, Sewer Shark, Critical Points, which we did a really cool walkthrough and review for that one. They were kind of the trap games, you know, you were kind of watching a video and kind of reacting to something on the screen. This is a darn video game. Putting this much effort into a soundtrack is absolutely stunning that they did this much and did 11 original tracks for it. I'd give it a 10 overall for Inventiveness. There's a lot of new things on here for 1994. I wish people would incorporate into games in 2026. Number 10, fun. This is a lot of fun. I've mentioned it several times. The variety of gameplay keeps this fresh the whole time. The clock, the running down, you're running out of time and you need to do different things in the air. And the story changes wildly throughout the twists and turns, which I enjoy as well. Acting is good, music is good, everything is good about this game. 10 overall for fun. I had a blast playing. That brings us to a final score of a 93, but what's the final verdict? Should you be playing this? Yeah, I think you should. A lot of different elements that you will enjoy in this game, and the acting is really good. The storytelling in this is A+ for FMV game. A+ for any type of gaming for that matter. What I also think is an A+ is the FMV archive. All we do is games like this. New, old, in between, really old, really new, CDi, CD-ROM, everything in between, we will do it. If you have a suggestion of a game for us to do, please let us know. We will usually get to it at some point. Thank you. Have a good one.